It all began with a documentary that boldly asserted that the moon excursions performed by American astronauts were a studio-produced hoax and never actually occurred. Isn't that an incredible conspiracy theory? However, the moon is considerably more complex than it initially appears, particularly its enigmatic far side. Furthermore, the authorities have concealed information regarding this obscure aspect of the moon. However, the situation becomes intriguing when a cosmonaut from the Soviet era breaks his silence and divulges information regarding a classified expedition to the far side of the moon. What's the deal with the far side of the moon? Well, let's start by understanding that the moon is quite unique. Hello everyone, welcome to Zeey, the Space Fanatics. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell for more space-related videos. It is tidally bound to Earth, which means that while one side is perpetually visible to us, the other, the far side, is concealed. However, it is not dark in the literal sense of lacking illumination, rather it is less familiar to us. In actuality, owing to some wobbling, only about 18% of the far side is occasionally visible from Earth. The remaining 82% remained concealed until 1959, when it was photographed by the Soviet Luna 3 space probe. Even the initial atlas of the far side was published by the Soviet Academy of Sciences in 1960. However, let's quickly progress towards the future. 1968 marked the first human sighting of the far side by Apollo 8 astronauts. Prior to that, every lunar landing occurred on the moon's near side. That all changed on January 3, 2019, when the Chang'e 4 spacecraft from China accomplished the inaugural far side landing. This is a rugged region of the moon dominated by craters with few dark, flat lunar maria or seas. You may now be wondering why the far side. Astronomers in fact have a marvelous notion. There they intend to install a massive radio telescope. It is shielded from radio interference from Earth by the moon due to the moon's tidal locked with Earth. Do you not believe it is a pretty remarkable concept? However, one might inquire as to why the far side is never visible from Earth. This is in fact the result of that tidal locking phenomenon. Although the moon rotates about its axis, one revolution requires the same amount of time to complete as one orbit around the Earth. Consequently, we ever see the same visage. A faster rotation would eventually allow us to observe all aspects of it. Let us now discuss a few noteworthy missions and discoveries associated with the moon. NASA launched the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, LRO, in June 2009, which is an intriguing spacecraft. Since then, it has been in lunar orbit, accumulating an extensive collection of high-resolution data and images. The LRO has significantly altered our knowledge of the moon. The resulting three-dimensional map of the moon's surface assisted in the identification of potential resources and secure landing sites for future lunar expeditions, comparable to Google Maps on a lunar scale. Still, that is not all. The LRO has captured photographs of the impact sites of numerous lunar missions at ultra-high resolution, including the Apollo landings and Soviet missions such as Luna and Lunokhod. The instruments, footprints, and traces that previous lunar explorers have left behind are depicted in these images. Comparable to a historical log of our expeditions to the moon. The LRO was able to locate the long-lost Luna 1 rover and its retroreflector, which ceased functioning in 1971 due to the precision of its measurements. That is comparable to unearthing long-lost, neglected playthings in the attic. Presently we have something truly astounding to consider. The discovery of water ice on the moon by the LRO is a monumental development for future lunar exploration. Water ice was detected by the LRO in perpetually obscured craters located in close proximity to the lunar poles. Due to their extreme depth and low temperature, these craters never encounter direct sunlight, enabling them to retain water ice for an exceptionally extended duration. The lunar water ice is a significant concern for forthcoming lunar expeditions. Evidently, water can be utilized for agriculture, drinking, oxygen production, and rocket propellant. The LRO has also investigated the volcanic history of the moon. An intriguing finding pertains to the youthful age of certain volcanic features in comparison to our initial estimations. This finding indicates that the Moon experienced volcanic activity for a lengthier duration than was previously postulated. Let us now discuss something extremely thrilling. Chang'e 4 is the inaugural and sole human expedition to land on the far side of the Moon and conduct exploration there. Chang'e 4 is comprised of a lander, a rover designated Yutu-2, also referred to as Jade Rabbit 2, and a Keiqiao relay satellite. The lunar orbiting mission commenced on December 12, 2018, after its launch on December 8, 2018. The lander and rover made contact with the von Karman crater, which is situated in the South Polacan Basin, on January 3, 2019. The South Polacan Basin is currently significant. It is the earliest and largest impact crater in the solar system, measuring approximately 13 kilometers in depth and 2,500 kilometers in diameter. It is hypothesized to have originated from a collision between the Moon and a massive asteroid approximately 4 billion years ago. The impact potentially revealed a portion of the Moon's mantle material, thereby yielding insights into the historical development and evolution of the Moon. The landing and roving site's geomorphology, mineral composition, and superficial subsurface structure are being investigated by Chang'e 4 using an array of cameras and spectrometers. These instruments acquire spectra and high-resolution images of the lunar surface, thereby uncovering a variety of materials and minerals. Chang'e 4 also cultivated vegetation on the Moon in an airtight container. This was performed as part of a biosphere experiment on the Moon to determine whether or not it was possible to establish a self-sustaining environment. In addition to nutrients, soil, water, and oxygen, the experiment incorporated cotton, potato, and thale cress, a type of flowering plant seeds. Yeast and fruit fly larvae were also included to establish a simple food chain. A wrinkle, however, has emerged in the narrative. The plants and other organisms perished due to the exceptionally low temperatures that accompanied the 2-week lunar night. Such conditions are beyond the design specifications of the container. Notwithstanding its limited time frame, the experiment yielded tremendous results and paved the way for future endeavors that seek to establish permanent human settlements on the Moon or other celestial bodies. Furthermore, consider the following discovery. On the Moon, Chang'e 4 discovered a novel variety of volcanic basalt. By analyzing the reflected light from various minerals on the surface with a spectrometer, the rover discovered 2 regions of rocks that were abundant in olivine and deficient in calcium pyroxene. Although these minerals are uncommon in the lunar crust, their abundance in the lunar mantle, the stratum beneath the crust, is anticipated. The lunar mantle is largely concealed beneath a thick layer of basaltic magma, rendering it virtually inaccessible. Notwithstanding this, certain scientists hold the opinion that significant impact occurrences may have revealed mantle material, and the discovery of Chang'e 4 may serve as substantiation for this theory. Additionally intriguing is the fact that Chang'e 4 landed in a region that is considerably more recent than the regions explored by previous missions. Lava flows in this region date back approximately 2 billion years, indicating that the Moon remained volcanically active for a considerably extended duration than previously believed. This provides evidence for regional differences in the volcanic history of the Moon, which complicates our knowledge of when and how lunar volcanism transpired. However, the Soviet Union also contributed significantly to lunar exploration. With the Luna 3 spacecraft, the Soviet Union was the first to acquire images of the far side of the Moon. A revolutionary undertaking, it was this mission that first revealed the concealed aspect of the Moon to the human race. Luna 3, which was set into orbit around the Moon on October 4, 1959, was tasked with photographing its far side. It was significant because this particular aspect had never been observed before. The design of the probe needed to be ingenious. Luna 3 resembled a receptacle filled with instruments and cameras. Scientific equipment, including solar cells for power generation, antennas for communication, and micrometeoroids and cosmic radiation detectors, were also present. However, the Yi-2 camera system, which comprised 2 cameras, a film processing device and a scanner, was the main attraction. Cameras were equipped with both wide-angle and close-up lenses. The film was automatically developed and dried by the film processing apparatus. The film was converted into electric signals for transmission to Earth by the scanner. Thus Luna 3 arrived at the Moon on October 6, 1959 and began taking photographs. It accomplished its objective by capturing 29 images that covered approximately 70% of the far side. The aforementioned images were transmitted back to Earth from October 7 to October 18, 1959. The photographs were no longer flawless. Low resolution, noise, distortion and interference were present. Nevertheless, their performance was satisfactory in that it demonstrated how drastically the far side of the Moon appeared in contrast to the familiar side. There were more craters and mountains than Maria. Images from Luna 3 generated considerable interest in lunar exploration and caused quite a commotion. They questioned established knowledge regarding the geology and history of the Moon. Even more, in 1960, Soviet scientists published an atlas of the far side of the Moon using enhanced image processing methods. Numerous features were designated with names derived from Russian or space-related vocabularies. The Luna 3 mission demonstrated that the Moon possessed considerably more potential than was initially anticipated. This momentous accomplishment laid the foundation for subsequent lunar investigations. Furthermore, the Luna 17 mission, during which the Lunokhod 1 rover was delivered to the Moon, must not be overlooked. Luna 17 was deployed to the Sea of Rains, a level region of the Moon's surface, subsequent to its launch on November 10, 1970. Truly, Lunokhod 1 was an investigator. The apparatus comprised 4 television cameras, a French-supplied X-ray retroreflector, an X-ray spectrometer and an X-ray telescope, in addition to cosmic ray detectors. It even had instruments for measuring the density and mechanical properties of lunar soil. It was comparable to a rover equipped with scientific instruments using a Swiss Army tool. Initially, it was intended that the mission would last for 3 lunar days or approximately 3 Earth months. But guess what? It surpassed all expectations and continued for 11 lunar days, or approximately 11 Earth months. The voyage spanned a cumulative distance of 10.54 kilometers. In addition to transmitting 20,000 television images, Lunokhod 1 also conveyed over 200 television panoramas, over 500 soil testing and over 140 lunar soil samples. Furthermore, it detected cosmic radiation and solar wind particles, measured the Moon's magnetic field and reflected laser beams back to Earth. However, all wonderful things must come to an end, and on September 14, 1971, when it lost contact with Earth, Lunokhod 1's mission came to a close. The final image captured was its own shadow traversing the lunar surface. Since the revolutionary Luna 3 mission of the Soviet Union to the remarkable discoveries made by China's Chang'e 4, lunar exploration has made significant progress in illuminating the Moon's hidden aspect. Alright guys, that is all for this video. Thanks for watching. What was your greatest lunar discovery? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you won't miss any of our daily videos.